Hi, this is Patricia Walls with the Enlightened Path podcast, and I am here with my friends from Southern Fried Psychics and Dina Fay, my divine niece over here. This is her brainchild that's been in the making for 18 years, and it's the subject of an indie film that she is calling Southern Fried Psychics. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to present psychic readings and spiritual guidance on Saturday, September 30th from 3 to 6 at the Cox Playhouse in Plano. It's going to be a one-of-a-kind live event that'll be a filmed gallery reading capturing the magic of collaboration from 7 of the area's best. Each psychic will share their unique abilities, gathering collectively to deliver messages and be a bridge to the spirit world. So I'm here today with Dina Fay Gilmore, my niece, my divine niece, Lawrence Jordan, my bro-other, Elizabeth Harden, the divine Elizabeth, and the goddess Carrie Glacier, and Jennifer Dawn. And Dr. Chuck Murphy is also going to join us, but he is absent from this one, but he's always with us. He and his jokes, he's always got jokes for us. So I wanted to welcome all of you. I'm so happy that that we were able to gather this many of us here on this platform. And so I'm going to ask if y'all are willing to do that, to share a little bit about what this venture means for you and what people can expect. I mean, what can you expect when you get all of us together anyway? Because I know everyone here. I've known everyone here for ages except Jennifer, and she's my new best friend. So there you go. So Dina Fay, start us out.
I would love to. Thank you for that. So yeah, this came to me in a shamanic journey. Actually, I think it was a meditation first, and then a shamanic journey almost back to back, a little over 18 years ago. And I was shown the vision of creating an indie film about being a modern day psychic, but instead of just like when you see most psychics today, it's all about one psychic. All the attention, all the stress, all the everything is just on that one psychic being of service to an audience, which is wonderful. I love that. However, that's a lot of stress on one person. And it allows more people to be able to say, well, that's not real, or they're fake, or they're whatever. So, okay. The vision I was giving was a gallery of us, a panel, if you will, between like 7 to 10 people. They never gave me a clear number because the way my guides really work is I need to be able to go with the flow and morph and let it naturally change on its own without being set with blinders on it. It's got to look like that. That's not how I operate. So, which thanks, my guides really go with that too. Finally, long story short is I went back to college nearly 30 years later, got myself into filmmaking. And so I put 2 and 2 together with my spirit team, thankfully, that the reason it didn't happen all those years ago is because I needed to be the filmmaker. I needed to be the director because I am psychic. I do use my gifts of service to other people, and it really is about multifaceted. It's really about to debunk what some people think about modern day psychics, and that we are not fake. We actually use our given abilities that we're born with, that we've probably spent thousands of dollars in classes and things like that to really massage it and work with it and learn how we operate best as uniquely as us. And so that vision really just lended to oh, it's time. Oh, I get it now. Oh, I understand. And the pandemic really actually helped that because everybody got disconnected. Everybody's lost someone. We've had so much death. And there's several of us in the panel who communicate with dead people and work with the other side. I mean, that's part of being psychic and working with our gifts, is we all work with the other side, with ourselves and our spirit teams. So I'm just beyond grateful for the vision they actually gave to me, is the faces of each psychic. And this was pretty recent, I'd say, 6 months ago, maybe, is I saw every single one of your faces plus Dr. Chuck. as far as who was going to be on the panel, which came to the number 7, if I include myself and then Dr. Chuck, which means that's where heaven meets earth, the number 7. It also means you're on the right path and your spiritual path. So it's so ideal that it ended up with 7 of us. So I'm beyond grateful for this is actually becoming a reality, and to turn this into indie film of, not only will you get a live audience out of it, you're going to get a film out of it, and you're going to get all the behind the scenes stuff that you don't see with 7 psychics working as a team, unison together, channeling, being a medium, being a psychic, whatever they identify with as themselves. And then you'll get the bonus stuff at the end of all the fun hijinks and unscripted stuff. You don't know what's going to come out of our mouth, of how we have fun, how we decompress. So that's really, in a nutshell, kind of the basis for the film itself. So I'm just so honored to share this space with your beautiful faces.
Because it's not just the it's not just the 3 to 6 either. There's things that we're doing before the event, after the event. Meet the psychics. I think we even talked about dinner with the psychics.
We have tickets.
So I mean, we've all been brainstorming like crazy. There's some very talented people on this board here, that go beyond psychic work.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah. So who else wants to share?
Well, I'll share. I'll step in here. I'm Elizabeth Harbin, and I am very honored and proud to be part of this team. And I too know everybody on the panel. I've worked with everybody on the panel. I haven't interviewed everybody on the panel, but I have done a lot of radio with the majority. One of the things that I really, really hope come out of us coming together like this is to prove without a shadow of a doubt that people of different energies can come together and they can unite for the common good. And part of this is to change the energy on the planet, to show that yes, people can work together, they can be friends together, they can disagree, but they can unite in the outcome. And I want people to look at us and go, well, gee, maybe I could do that too. Or, wow, it's refreshing to know that you really do struggle, or you do have issues. You are human. We're not walking on water yet, so we still got to toe the line. But we're also showing people that we are brave enough to be vulnerable to criticisms, to whatever, to get the message to you that sometimes maybe it is advisable to see one of us, because we actually can give you some information that could potentially change the direction you're headed, or change the direction in which you're going. And I am just so thankful that Patricia heard the call to get into service, and not only for that, but to create this podcast, because we know that people are starving for information like this, and this is the way to go. And we know this is going to spread out all over the globe, and that is the second aspect of us coming together, is to get the message out globally.
Definitely. Because we would love to be like a traveling road show where we travel to different towns and cities, unscripted reality TV series. It's endless for the possibilities of, the whole point is to reach the masses, so that, I hope that by the end of every time we're in service, we leave someone better than we found them. We leave them empowered, inspired, loved, seen, heard. That's the big foundation between everything that we're doing.
I think what there's so many things that I would like to achieve with this event. The first thing I would like is, I like for people to see us as normal people. I think when you think of a psychic, you think of someone in a room somewhere with, a crystal ball, and they don't eat, you know what I mean? And I think what's interesting is that we eat, and we eat a lot. Yes, I eat a lot.
We eat.
Well,
Our
hey, they can look at me and go, she is not starving. I mean,
Southern pride here
seriously.
for sure.
Yeah.
We're definitely Southern pride.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
so I always want people to walk away from this event saying, wow, those people look just like me. They look just like my family. Wow. I'd like for the younger group to say, hey, look at this guy. I can be him. I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with me. I see dead people. Great. I see living people. Great. We see people. Great. I think the common conversation that'll be during this fantastic event is we're all one. We're
Yeah.
all one. We're all one. And this great team, I've worked with everyone except for Jen. I guess she's my new best friend. We're just going to adopt her, right? We're just going to take her from you, sister. And I think we all are going to, I think what I would love the audience to get from this, first of all, it's a message. Get your message. Get your message from us, because that's what we hear. We are service providers of the psychic world. We are the service providers. The gift that we have and the experiences that we have is phenomenal because everyone's intuitive. Everyone is a psychic. Everyone has intuition. But I think for this panel, it's the delivery that's going to be phenomenal. The way we have, again, like we just started laughing. The delivery of us is really what's going to be phenomenal. And in that delivery, you're going to find so many pearls of wisdom that we have sprinkled throughout the psychic messages for so many. So, Dina, I want to thank you for allowing us to be full expression on the stage, which is rare, but we love to be full expression. That's what we are anyway. And I think, Sister, this podcast that you're doing it's a phenomenal podcast. It stretches into areas that have never been sort of shed light upon, like the Velvet Rope, like Step Behind It, How Do We Live? Well, when people see me, certain people see me and they're like, oh, that's Lawrence, and I'm at the lake and I'm doing all my things. And then they see me at the restaurant and they're like, oh, do you actually eat? Do you drink? I'm like, yeah, I do. And I drive. I do drive. I don't fly. I'm not flying above on some type of Aladdin thing. I drive. And I curse a lot from time to time.
Now you gave your chauffeur the night off,
I gave my chauffeur the night off,
We know.
But
Wait,
I
you
think
have a
the
chauffeur?
best thing-
You know, it's so funny,
I know,
Lauren,
right?
is that I think what's so funny is that whenever I met everybody, so I'm Jennifer Dawn. You can call me Gentilla if you like. That's how the rest of the world knows me in this area. But when I met Lauren and Patricia, and it was immediate, it's just like, oh, look, here's the family I hadn't talked to in a while. And it picks up where you're at. When I met Dina for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, Dina faced my new bestie now. And here I am snuggling her precious little dog. And it was just an instant connection with everybody, kind of like with Carrie and with Elizabeth. And, they've helped guide me into a lot of things. But I think the best thing that's going to come out of this is showing everybody how wonderful we fit together and how we're all brothers and sisters in this great spirit. And it's fabulous. I think that there's so much to offer with what's going to be going on in September.
And how we all live normal lives. We do these amazing and spiritual things, but I think one of the things that people see with spiritual people is that, oh, you're not human. You don't do these human things. You're off in another realm. No, I very much do human things. I have medical challenges that I take care of. I know some. I got excited. So that's my main thing, is because people have no idea what an amazing group this is and how diverse we are, but how much the same all at once.
Yeah.
Dina, and I think Dina, maybe you and I have known each other maybe a year now, and soul sisters just immediately. And we got to do some stuff the other day. And I love how the very first thing you said to me when you called was, I want to make this the diverse. I want to make this all inclusive, and I want you to be yourself. I want you to be yourself, to be your individual. And I love what Jordan had said about, you know, the younger people, that this is okay. You're not crazy. You're not hearing things. I mean, I talk to animals, and talking to the animals is almost like hearing humans. You know, you get a big dog that sounds like Minnie Mouse, and I'm talking to this person, and you're like, people say that's a little crazy, you know. It is, and I love it. I love every
Right.
second of that crazy, and I am so happy to be on this journey, and if you will, the crazy train of this beautiful thing that's unfolding that Dina's created, and it's amazing to me.
Southern Fried Choo Choo Train.
Southern fried choo choo.
When
Let's go.
when people think
All
when
aboard.
people
Yeah, right.
yeah. So all the other, and this is not a criticism, it's an awareness, I guess. So when people think about psychic galleries, right? They think about this person standing up on the stage, all, you know, serious and in prayer, and, you know, oh, I'm gonna connect with the spirits now. So everybody please be quiet. I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot of giggling, you know, a lot of poking.
Yeah.
And, you know, for me to connect to source, I'm always connected to source, right? We are always connected to source. We are always getting messages. I was watching you, Carrie Glacier, right? I was watching you the whole time during the meeting. You were receiving information the entire time. Okay. And pretty much the entire time of this recording so far, you've been receiving information the whole time. And so we don't cut it. I mean, we can cut it off. We do have to cut it off. Like for me, I have rules. They're not allowed my bedroom or my bathroom. Okay. If you want to give me a message, you better give me a message outside of those two rooms in my house, because you're not allowed to wake me up at night. You know,
That's
but
right.
other than that, I'm on 24/7, and I know all of you, you're also on 24/7, but we have a modicum of professionalism, right? We don't just walk up to somebody and go, oh, well, your Aunt Susan told me to tell you that you were such a little shit when you were young. You know? And she's never gotten over it. She still remembers it, you know. We're not going to do
we
that.
wait until they pay us to do that. Then we tell them they were
There you go.
more.
But Carrie, I wanted to share that my mother died when I was 17, and we did not have a good relation. Well, we didn't have a relationship. You know, my mother was always working, and I invited Carrie to come and do readings at one of the women's retreats. Do you remember that, Carrie?
I do. It was an honor and a blessing to do for those women. Yes.
Yeah, and that was the first time that anyone brought my mother through. And wow. Carrie did that.
I got a Carrie story too.
Yeah.
About, she was, we were working at Waxahachie.
I think so.
Was it Gail Hudson's fair?
Yes.
And
yes.
Carrie was doing a gallery. She did a gallery after we did. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go in the gallery. So as soon as I sat down, Carrie turned to me and said, there's a woman who's crossed. And I do I do past life readings and stuff. She said, there's a woman who's crossed. And she says to you that I'm mad that I didn't listen to you when I was alive. And I had no idea what Carrie was talking about. I had no idea. It took like a week later. And not only did my sister came to my face, was like, she's talking about me, you idiot. I was like, oh, she's talking about me, you idiot. I'm in plain sight. So Carrie, I want to let you know, there are things that you reveal to people that our guides are working with you. And I guess with me, it was in plain sight. Sometimes, you almost have to knock me in the head. Psychic awareness is interesting. We see for everyone else, but we can't see for ourselves. And that is happening all the time. I always tell people, hey, if a psychic can see for themselves, run. Run. I don't know.
Yep.
Yep.
Get away. Run.
Well, I have something that pertains to Patricia and Lawrence, and this was pretty much when I was not beginning, but I was having some of those. Is this really where I need to be? Should I quit my day job? Should I do this? Both of you, Lawrence, you had sat down before I even began to read with you. You said you're of God's light, and don't you forget that. And Patricia said pretty much the same thing: is don't forget who you are. And you gave this to me many years ago, Patricia, but he goes everywhere with me. And I remember
Oh, selenite.
I remember you putting this selenite in my hand, and I immediately started zooming. And you looked at me and you said, "You're not supposed to zoom, you're supposed to ground." And then I kind of said, well, sometimes I have the opposite effect for me. And immediately, I don't remember. I wish I could remember what you said to me. And I don't, but I remember the feeling of it. And I remember immediately coming into heart space with you and just feeling like, okay, I am supposed to be here. And both these meetings were both within short amount of time with each other. I mean, I've not stopped since.
Good.
Yeah, the minute that I saw Lawrence, we kind of knew that we were mirrors of each other.
Yeah, exactly.
So I call him bro other, and he calls me sis star.
Yeah. From the immediate time that we met in the basement of a haunted hotel in Waxahachie.
Yeah.
I don't have sound anymore, guys.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Well, we were Elizabeth, Patricia we were in this sort of haunted psychic fair hotel. I mean, it's a whole story.
The Baker Hotel in Waxahachie.
In Waxahachie. And she was on the other side and I was on one side, and something told me, get up. And I got up and I walked the other side, and it was like I saw a family member. I didn't see anyone else. I saw Patricia. I'm like, we're family. And every time I get on a break, I'm gonna come back and talk to you because we're family. Elizabeth, oh my gosh, I've been working with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, gosh, how long have we been working together? Elizabeth put me on her blog radio show about 15 years ago. And I'd never been. And she said to me, you're coming on my show. And I'm like, I've never been on a radio show, but I'm going to give it a wing. She says, I want you to talk about A, B, and C. I said, I'll try to, but you know us. By the time the show was over, she made me feel so comfortable. She allowed information to travel and for me to channel it. And I think with what we are is that we're sort of vortexes, gateways. We sort of gateways. We kind of open up a door for people to walk through. And I think we're all collectively going to do this on September 30th. Mm-hmm. We're going to open up one hell of a gateway. And a lot of people are going to cross through and they're going to cross by, and we're going to do it with love. You know, there are times when you can have a spiritual experience and it can be very intense. You cannot know what's going on. And there are times like this that what we're doing is that people will have a spiritual experience, but it'll be nurturing. It'll be full of light and understanding. It won't be full of judgment. You know, I myself, I'm a type of guy that, you know, I'll just jump off the stage. I'm a guy that gets off the stage and gets into the crowd with people like that, because I believe if they feel me, if they see me, but if they feel me, then they get the message too. And so I want to thank all of us for having the courage, because this is a courageous deal.
Absolutely.
Let's not act like it's not. It's a courageous deal. We live in a very beautiful community, and other people don't live in a very loving spiritual community like we do. So for all those other communities and those small towns and those places where, you know, that one metaphysical shop is like a telephone booth, small like that, you know, it's not a lot. I hope that this will inspire them to create a community, And I came into this community and it was loving. It's been loving ever since. You know, and so I really feel like with this event that we're going to do, there's kind of two parts. The first part is the message. And the second part is us. We are the message as well. We're the message of oneness. All these
Yeah.
things that are happening around the country right now, the country needs to see us.
Mhm.
I think that's what's happening. Everyone's had their turn. We haven't had our turn yet. We haven't had our day in front of the mic expressing how we see the world. And I think this will give us our day. And I think people will love, they will love the fact that we love service. We don't just like it, we love it. And so I'm excited about it. I'm excited about getting on the stage with everyone and cutting up and, you know, having a good time and, you know, just enjoying who we are. And the bloopers, which there'll be many, I'm sure.
Oh,
There
yeah.
will be many.
Well, not only that, connecting with the audience, I'm excited, not just connecting with you guys, but on how the 7 of us are going to connect with that audience.
Wow.
And to hear their comments afterwards, because this is like nothing other that I've ever seen or heard of. I mean, this is awesome. And the feelings, I'm really, you know, how they do that. Dina, I'm not sure if we're going to do this or not, but you know how they interview the people who got messages afterwards. If you were planning, I'm really curious as to hear how that is, having 7 different psychics come in with pretty much the same information, but in different ways and in different energies and different lights.
Yeah, that's a big purpose of post interview. So pre is like, you know, people that want to share where they are in life. Have they ever had a psychic reading? What do they know about psychics? What are their thoughts? You know, things like that. And then post, you know, if you did receive a reading, what was that like for you? How are you feeling? You know, what's your biggest takeaway? Things like that, which I think are really important. Plus the benefit, I think the reason why my spirit team has shown me a collective is working as a team, not just, okay, here's 20 minutes, Patricia, 20 minutes, Dina, 20 minutes, Jen, that we're working together as a collaborative unit as one, is because when I get in a room with other psychics, my gifts grow tenfold, especially when I do psychic therapy. So how I met Jen and Carrie was through Elizabeth, by coming back to Dallas, where I'm from, and doing psychic fairs with y'all is how I met y'all. And then I met Lawrence through Aunt Patricia of, you know, just community and connection. And it was the same way, but every time I get around more than 1 or 2 of us, it's like, man, I'm wide open. Like I'm a full on channeler, getting all kinds of information kind of thing. So that's another part that I really wanted the world to see is what's really possible when you surround yourself with like-minded and fellow people who are gifted and have abilities.
Right, because with our collective energies, so this happens at at events, different types of events. But when you get this many gifted and talented people together, and guess what? It's not even going to be just us. Some of our psychic Metroplex, some of our Metroplex family are also going to be there, who are psychics, who are practicing, offering service psychics. They are also going to be in the audience receiving, okay? But as they're in the audience receiving, they're going to be magnifying all of the energies there in that building, in that room. And there is no telling what's going to happen, okay? The spaceship may land.
Bring it.
You're going to have all of us and all of them there. That's a lot of energy. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, because one of my gifts is being an activator of other people's gifts, right? As are most of you. You're activators of other people's gifts. It's like the key, opening the key. And so there's a lot that's going to come from that event that may not even be obvious for 6 months down the road. Because I often have people come back 6 months later after an event and go, oh my God, since that event, I've started doing this, this, and this. Well, that's going to happen there for pretty much anybody who shows up, because you've got 7 of us plus other psychics who are going to be in the audience with you. So, hey, why not, right?
The house is on fire.
Absolutely.
The house is gonna be on
Absolutely.
fire.
Don't come a
Yeah.
knocking, the house is rocking. That's exactly what I need.
That's perfect.
Yeah, and seating is going to be limited too. I mean,
Right.
because it's a theater, it only, there's maximum occupancy, right? So is it 200, Dina Faye?
No, it's we have 106 seats total, selling 96 tickets, because we have to account for the vendors, count for us, and then save some,
Right.
one for each of your partners or your people that you would like to bring. So
So only 96 tickets. Oh my goodness.
we've already started.
You guys
selling.
better sign up quick. So we are each going to have flyers of some events that we're doing. Plus we're doing a mock. Aren't we doing a mock?
Yes, yes.
A mock
yes,
event that we'll be
Yes.
selling tickets to,
Yes.
a
yes,
pre-event.
Yes.
And so there's a link on the Southern Fried Psychics Facebook page, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
For Eventbrite, there's
to
a link to buy
Eventbrite.
tickets.
Exactly.
Dina's
Yes.
gone.
And Lawrence is building a website for us.
Right.
Yes,
So,
yes.
but the tickets should be on sale at Eventbrite under Southern Fried Psychics.
Exactly. It's listed under
So-
Southern Fried Psychics. It's on Facebook. Excuse me. All of us are going to try to have that on our Facebook page as well, but there is definitely a link on my page, Dina's page.
My page, yeah.
My
Patricia,
page.
yours, or everybody. We've got it on there so that people.
And there will be a link on this podcast too.
Exactly. And we'll
The
take this
information
link.
for the podcast. There will be a link for Eventbrite, and yeah.
Right. And then
You
we're going to
guys,
share this
96
podcast all
tickets.
over.
And there are already some of those that have been sold. So
Yes, yeah.
there's not even 96 tickets
Mhm.
available now. Yeah.
That
So
would be
I'd love to see
92?
everybody there.
Wow. That is awesome.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be going quick. There's so many people that I know already who are like, how do I get tickets? How do I get tickets? How am I going to
Right.
get into this event? What time to start? What can I do? And it's just hammered, bam, bam, bam. They want to know. So the sooner you can get tickets, the sooner it's gonna put you at reassurance there.
Well, they're
Well,
getting
I'm gonna
7
throw
seconds.
in one thing right quick. We're talking about 174 years
Yes,
of experience
Yes.
yes.
Mhm.
that you're
You've
getting
combined
at this event.
experience. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I'm
You couldn't-
excited
one
about
person
it.
couldn't
And
pay enough.
That's why I said you're getting 7 psychics for the price of one.
Here you go.
And
3 hours?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's just unheard of.
and you get a chance to be in a film because Dina Faye is going to make a film of this.
That's right.
Well, and Dina Faye, how many awards do you have for your films? So you're an award-winning filmmaker. This is
Yes, you
nothing.
That's
Mhm.
right.
This isn't small potatoes. This is
Mhm.
something that has a lot of oomph behind it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I won, to answer your question, it's hard for me to toot my own horn, but I don't like not answering questions, but I won 21 awards with my
Wow.
directorial debut film, Baby in the Basement.
Wow.
okay.
And you're
go.
creating another film too.
Yes.
Unlocking the mysteries of light language. So
Based on
Dina, I don't know how
Whoa.
many projects you've got going right now, but 2 of them I know of are Southern Fried Psychics and Unlocking the Mysteries of Light Language, which is the title for my book that comes out next month.
Mhm.
But she's already filmed us at one of my light language immersion weekends, and then she's going to be interviewing people who also channel light language. So the film's not just about me, it's going to be about all of us again.
Yeah.
Nothing is about just one of us, not ever.
No.
I'll tell
Because we
you,
are a
I was
community.
a long time lurker of Patricia. And I know what she does. So it's like when I met her, I'm like, oh, hi, I'm Jennifer. And it's like, long time lurker, first time speaker. How you doing? She has so much to offer. So I'm excited for your book to come out. That's exciting.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's going to be, yeah, that's exciting. You have this energy that when you step into the light language realm, we all do. We all
Right.
do. We all do.
Right.
And
Totally.
that's a that's a gift, a collective gift that's not bestowed on many, not bestowed on.
And I
But
want
it is our language, Lawrence. Everybody has it.
I
Just-
know, but you're the good connector. You have that good connection that it's
Yeah.
like that nozzle on the water hose that spreads it out so that everyone can get what needs to happen. We
got
do
the
have
good
right
one.
language. Yeah.
One of the things that I would, as an audience member, I have a feeling that you're going to not just hear things and you're going to, everyone receives a message, whether it's directed towards you or someone near you, everyone gets a message, but the feelings in there, because like Patricia was talking about earlier, there's going to be other psychics in that audience with you. So they're raising vibration, we're raising vibration, and your vibration also raises. So some of the things that you're going to experience, not just physically being there, but emotionally and
Yes.
energetically as
Yeah.
well. What an opportunity.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well,
And
we
in a
also-
safe environment.
Well, and we also
Yes.
meet on a regular routine basis to start building that energy up into the event. And part of the reason for the mock is so that we can already start creating that magnificent vessel of information that's going to come through for the September event. So there's so many facets to everything we're creating. Y'all are my team.
Oh, and as a note, so those of you who are shop owners, metaphysical shop owners, those of you who are other psychics or offering other services, we're going to be giving you the option of being in the program of advertising in this event. So pay attention. This is a chance for you to advertise what it is that you do for the community.
Right.
So I'm excited about that part. I mean, it started out as this, not to say that Dina Fay's dream wasn't grand, but I think that we've probably taken her grand vision and exploded it into something.
That's the whole point behind it.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
why
for
nothing is scripted, because you're doing a disservice if you script a psychic, meaning let us just be wide open, let us be uniquely ourselves, because that's where the goodness, the gravy, the juice, I'm gonna say the gravy because Southern fried, of course, you got to have gravy.
You do.
So that's why I
Yeah.
love these projects where it is not following a script. Nothing follows a format or a program except that we have an agenda that we're going to be following for the day. That's it.
Wow.
Keeping
So
it real.
September
Mhm.
30th.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're Southern
September
fried
30th.
and we're unscripted. So we're Southern fried and we're unscripted. You gotta
Mhm.
go. You gotta come see us.
You don't
You
know
gotta
what's
come
going to
see
fly
us.
out our mouth.
Yeah. You gotta
I
come
can
see
hear
us.
it
Yeah.
now, can't you? Oh my God.
Oh.
It's like when you're cooking in a big old pot and you're just like, get back in there. It's gonna try to keep us all
Get back
contained.
in
It's not gonna
there.
work real well.
That's right. That's right. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah.
It's a gumbo. It's a
That's
gumbo.
for
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
sure,
Mhm.
for
It's a
sure.
gumbo. And
Oh, yeah.
we're offering this wonderful gumbo to you and to your family members. And come on out. We're in Plano. We're on the strip. You know, we are right. You can't miss us. You
You
literally cannot miss this, and you can't miss us.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah.
mock that we're going to do is we're going to slightly give you just a little taste of the crumb of the friedness. It's just a crackling. We're going to give you crackling. That's what we're going to give you.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Good stuff. We're going to give
Yeah,
you
I was just
crackling.
I was just thinking, Dina Fay, we should probably hand out chocolate at the end of the event to
Oh, yeah.
ground everybody so that they
Yeah.
can drive home.
Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, we
Because
fly home. You know, I don't
there'd be a
drive
lot of
anymore.
That goes to that
There'd be a lot of space cadets going on.
Well, and anybody watching, if this is something you're enjoying already, and you would like to have us in your town, reach out to us. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah,
Yeah, traveling
Yes, sir.
psychics, that's us.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We go
Just
where
a
spirit
roving
calls
band
us,
and unscripted Southern fried traveling psychics. You
right?
gotta
Yeah.
come. You
I can
gotta
see the
come.
Oh, yeah.
Scooby-Doo bus right now.
I was just going to say, is there somebody that wants to donate one of those mega buses to us?
Hey,
Get an RV. Make it an RV. Y'all want to?
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be
That would be
great.
awesome.
that'd be awesome. That'd be really great. We
We'd
just
love
show
to
up
go
in
to
your town.
Austin. We'd love to be in Austin. We'd love to
Yes.
be in Houston.
Yes,
Houston's a really good receptive place.
sure is. Oklahoma City.
There you
Yeah.
go.
There you go.
I just
Las
wonder-
Vegas.
Yeah, and I just
Vegas.
want to put out there for
okay.
everybody.
Why not?
California.
Why not?
This is an
California.
all-inclusive event. So come as you are. I think that's the one thing I want everybody to understand that might be watching this and that might be hesitant. This is for everyone. You
Yes.
can come. We want to include everybody. We don't want anyone to feel left out. You don't have to have any experience with this. You could be walking in right off of the bus from, some Amish community. It doesn't matter. We want you to pop right in
There you go.
and see what you might be called to hear and receive that day. This is for everybody. We want everybody to feel included and loved and know that we are all together. We are all one group of supportive, spiritual people. And we all, as human beings, brothers and sisters, we're all here for each other and we can
Right.
be there for you too. So
Yeah.
we just want to make sure you're aware that this is for everybody. This isn't just
The
for the
only thing
few,
that's
this is for the all.
Yeah.
The only
I
thing
wanna
that's
bring
required
up-
is an open mind.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. I want to bring up one thing for people to understand too, is Carrie is an animal communicator. And we're asking those people who want to get messages from their fur babies that have crossed over, come
Bring the
and
photo.
talk to Carrie. Let her give you some information. She is amazing. She's just amazing.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
And you want them to
Bring
bring a
of
picture,
your
right,
baby.
Carrie?
Yes, bring a picture of your baby. If you don't have one, that's okay. But if you have, even if it's just on a phone, that'll be great. But I am able, it takes me a little longer if I don't have a picture. So it is, if you do have a picture, great. If not, that's okay. We will. And I'm not the only one that picks up animals. Being around me, Elizabeth and Jen and some others have picked up animals being around. So I'd be curious to see if they don't pick up some of that night as well.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I think we learned it from you though. I
Carrie.
think it's that experience.
Someone heard
There's my
Carrie
boy.
talking and decided they wanted to come up. He was barking
Hi,
on the
teddy
bed.
bear.
He said, hello, no, Carrie. But hello.
Hi, teddy bear.
And I
That's so
love that you
sweet.
said that, Jen, because as part of the LGBTQ community, I want our community to also feel welcomed, seen, heard, because it's more important now than ever with as dangerous that it is toward
Yes.
most everyone in our community right now. So just know that I would love to have you there and you're loved regardless how you show up. Show up
Right.
authentically you.
I'll be an
And
adopted mom.
there are so many people. I mean, when I'm doing the fairs or the galleries or whatever, you have conversations with people, and I have conversations with people at the grocery store, right? Or wherever I am, we just break into a conversation. But there are so many people who are psychic. I mean, consciously, actively psychic, but they're not hanging a shingle somewhere, right? But they have this gift, they have this knowledge, and they're not sure what to do with it. And so I'm looking forward to those people being there so that they can be more comfortable, right? So that they can see that we are just average, everyday people. And they're just like us, only we are offering it on a bigger scale. But there are so many people, though, that, my grandfather used to tell us stories when I was little about talking to ghosts, because in his generation, or him in particular, he didn't have transportation. So he would walk from town to town to get jobs, to bring money back. And he would sleep in abandoned houses. And so he was always telling us stories about talking with the spirits who lived in those houses. I mean, that was my first opening to knowing that there was something like that. And can you imagine the number of people out there, the number of people who are watching this podcast too, who know that they receive messages that they don't know what to do with them. So I'm hoping that we can give them some education, some comfort, you know. And
I believe-
that's another service that we'll be offering too.
I believe it'll be when we start to channel the dead, the unliving. We also will be channeling the unliving within that block in Plano. The very block that this event is going to be held. It's kind of like old Plano. So it's kind of like when I walk down it at certain times, you can just almost imagine what it looked like 100 years ago, because they have the old railroad station. You might be able to see it. I'm not sure. You might be able to see it from theater. They have this old train that sits out there. It's about 100 years old, and it's sitting there, but it kind of anchors in the afterlife energy. With me, I always spoke to the dead. I didn't know the difference. And so when people come to see me, to me, they're not actually dead. That's maybe how I see it. They just don't have a body. But they're not actually dead. They're kind of active. And whenever I set intention to go into that area, it's very much like a whole bunch of them show up. They show up. And it's very much like when I first saw Ghost, I was like, wait. That happens to me sometimes when I'm channeling the dead. It's like one after the other. I'm like, who are you? And who are you? And who are you? After a while, it kind of activates everyone in the room, and they get to also experience what we experience. So even if you're sitting there and you didn't even have a thought about anyone from your past who passed over and messages, you could just be sitting in the theater with us and receive that information. And know that your guide sent you to this event to get that information to you. So it's valuable in many ways. I mean, come because your guides have worked very hard for you to get here. Very hard for you to get here.
That's true.
Very, very hard. So your
That's
seat is
true.
already arranged. You just have to show up and be present and be yourself and then be entertained. And it's entertaining for us. This is a service position, but we also get service too. So when people come to psychics, they think, okay, you gave us this and now you're going to go home and you're wiped out. Not necessarily. Good energy begets good energy. I read good energy, I become good energy.
That's right.
So it's not necessarily a depleting thing for us. And the fact that we're all
Shouldn't
on
be.
stage, it shouldn't be. It's not. The fact that we're all on stage and we're 7 magnified by 7, we're all going to have a really good time.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And the
yes.
theater itself has its own energy. It has its own spirit activity. So we
Yes,
got
exactly.
that and with it as well. That's one of the
Yeah.
why Elizabeth and I picked it, because I made Elizabeth my producer since we've had such a background and we were in radio together and have such a great history. Took our training from Dr. Truck together. It's how we met. And so yeah, we guarantee it's going to be some unbridled fun and entertainment like you've never known.
And really valid information. It is information. And I love what Lawrence was talking about. And it is quite true that sometimes you don't recognize that the message that went to the person sitting next to you also is a message to you as well. And sometimes you don't pick that up until you get home and go, well, you know what, I think that was really for me. And that is just part of that collective energy that comes in. But just to let everybody know, if you're getting that nudge to come, that is someone over on the other side saying, you need to come to this, you need to be present in that theater. So if you hear it, you're hearing it for a reason.
Yeah.
Same thing, like if you come across it and you don't know how it came in your feed or came up on your, screen or whatever, that's someone guiding that for you. That's divine.
Absolutely.
Yep. Planting the seed. It's up to you to move your feet and to get your ticket.
Buy
Because
that
we'd be
ticket.
happy to see you there.
Absolutely.
We're your aunties and uncle, and we're ready to see you.
Yeah.
Come
You're
have
gonna be
dinner
there.
with us. Come and be a
Imagine
part
it.
of that experience. Come in.
That is a
have
whole
dinner with us.
experience in itself.
That is
Dinner
worth
is
the
like a-
price of the ticket.
It truly is. That's the show right there.
That's really- Us watch psychics eating. Yes.
Right.
It won't be a food fight, but you also never know. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Right
And
there.
laughing
I mean,
so hard till we
seriously.
snort.
Oh,
Yeah.
We do
Yeah.
that. We do laugh so hard that we snort.
Yeah, we
okay?
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're heavy
Yeah,
I do
snorters. We're
anyway.
heavy, heavy snorters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a second thing.
Chinchilla, that when she really gets tickled, she will make
And
this
bark.
sound like a bark.
She's getting ready to do it. She's getting
Gary
ready
and
to do it.
I
right
have
now.
never heard it. We've been working with this child for how many years? And all of a sudden she really got tickled and I heard that bark and I thought, that actually came from Chinchilla.
It's
from
so
her.
funny. It does sound like a dog.
It does. It sounds like a bark.
I heard it when
And
we
when
did
there's-
that service for somebody the other day. We did a house blessing and a land clearing, and I heard her do it, and I was like, "Whoa, that was cool!"
Well, they tickled me so much. It was so funny. I was just crying, laughing, and then I couldn't catch my breath, and I made this like barking noise.
It's true.
always done
It's true.
I can't. So it's like we can snort and we can bark. So you come to dinner
You know,
and you're going to see
Jen,
both.
Jen, you know that you were channeling someone's dog, okay?
Right.
For
It
real.
was not a bark snort. You were channeling.
Oh my gosh. it's So funny.
Oh, she visit that past life, you know. Oh,
Yeah.
my God, that was too funny. Oh my
Or
God.
can just call me Dolly or something or whatever my
Oh,
dog name
it was
in the past
wonderful.
life is.
It was one of the best days ever.
It
Thank
was
you so
great.
much for going.
Mhm.
Seriously,
It was a wonderful day.
it was.
So normally, you know, in a panel like this, we would say, do you have any questions? We can't ask you, do you have any questions? So are any of you intuiting any questions that people may have that we need to answer?
Well, yeah. One of the things that I get from our group is how do I know I have a gift of some sort? How do I know that I'm talking to spirit? How do I know? How do you know? How do you know that you're on the right path? Or how do you know how that works for you?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking it as in a general kind of a question where anybody could answer, or just, you know, what info do you get on that? Because that happens quite a bit to all of us. How did you
Yeah. I mean, how many of us, when we're doing readings, when I was at the Dallas Psychic Fair, I had so many people sit down to the table and ask, how do I know that it's my great aunt Susan talking to me? How do I know that when it's my spirit guide versus the devil, for those that believe in that? You know, and how do I know that I'm psychic? How do I grow this?
Mhm.
How do I, you know, learn how to use this? I mean, everybody has those questions. And for me, so there are all the clairs, right? Claircognizance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, and everybody thinks that they have to be clairvoyant, right? There's just this programming that you have to be clairvoyant or you're not psychic.
Right.
And that's what stumped me for a long time, because I had some things happen as a child where I cut that off. And then in my 20s, I started trying to, you know, gain back those gifts. And what I discovered was that I'm claircognizance instead of clairvoyant. And so for me, it's the knowing. I just know what I know. And so I had to learn to trust that I know what I know, what I know. And so there are so many people out there who are claircognizant and they keep looking to see spirit, and you're not going to see spirit. Well, there's been like I was telling people there's been probably 3 times in my entire life that I've seen a full body apparition. And there's been just a handful of times when I've smelled something or literally audible heard something. But for me, it's claircognizance where I just know the answer. I just, if you ask me what an apple looks like, I don't see it, but I know what it looks like. I can tell you what it sounds like when I bite into it. I can tell you what it tastes like. I can tell you all the little imperfections on this apple that I'm seeing at this particular time because it changes, right? But I don't actually see it. And so I think what I usually tell people is start listening, start noticing. Do you feel a breeze at a particular time and there's no fan? Well, hello, that's someone trying to get your attention. Do you feel a tap on your head or your shoulders or, that's someone trying to get your attention, right? The goosebumps, the goosies that we get when we remember something or get something right. So for me, that's how I advise people, from my own experience.
Right.
Anybody else?
I can go from how Elizabeth
trust.
guided me. Elizabeth told me when I first went to see Elizabeth, I sat down and I looked at her and she goes, I know you know.
That's true. I did.
I know you know. And then she goes, And she sits there and then she was like, you'd be interested in some stuff I've got going on. And so she tells me about these classes and how I met Carrie and her. And she was like, oh, we're doing this fun, a tarot group. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah. And that's how she got me in. But she was like, and you've known for a long time.
Yeah.
And she was right. And all I needed was just that one person to go, you're not crazy.
Yeah. Confirmation.
And
yeah,
everybody needs that. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes it could be really simple to have like a person work with you and listen to your languaging, because one of the ways that I discovered a lot of mine, I did maybe a little bit like Patricia. I used to see people when I was younger and my grandfather said, well, that's just your imagination, and everything stopped because his power was all encompassing. And so
right.
at that age, everything stops because you listen to that power. And one of the things when I really was getting into this again after my corporate stint, because I did go into corporate, was to go through NLP. And one of the things that I learned from that was to listen to your languaging. And I realized that what I would say, if somebody was talking to me, I would go, oh, I see what you're saying, especially on the phone. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay, I understand what you're telling me. Or in a text message, I'll say, I hear what you're saying. Okay, let's go with that. So those were my two biggest knowings was, okay, here's the vision and here's the hearing. You see it and you hear it, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get into radio, was because I hear differently those sounds. I can hear when somebody is telling me something. I could almost have the vision of, geez, I see you. Lawrence was probably the first one that was so overwhelming. The energy for him was so overwhelming that I thought, if y'all don't listen to this man, this is the biggest loss we could possibly have. And it was like his energy was so real. It was so genuine. It was so authentic that it frightened me at first, because it was like, oh, geez, what is this? And then after you get to talking to him, and then you find out there is this incredible human being who is in such touch with so many different modalities, people, places, things, past, present, future. I mean, way there, that it was like, this man has got to be on radio. We have got to get him on. And that was like my first experience. And with Dina, we took our class together, and that involved Dr. Chuck. Same way with Carrie, same way with Patricia, same way with Jen. There's this thing that happens and I can hear it. And it's like, yeah, that's authentic. This is genuine. This is not made up. These people are real and they have these gifts. So whether it be a curse or not, when I tell someone, yeah, you can do this, all you got to do is have a platform.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And let's get you out there and let's get you on. Let's get you in that space.
Yeah. With
Well,
me, go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, for me, when I trust, that was the first thing, is somebody said you trust what you're hearing, trust what you know, trust what you smell. And so I started talking to spirit like I'm talking to the person that's physically here across from me. Once I learned that and to let that go, I mean, I've gone out to dinner with people and I can taste like I'm eating dinners with them and they're in spirit. I can smell their kitchen. I can smell. It was all in learning the word trust.
Wow.
Yep.
With me, it's kind of interesting. With me, I was born this way. My family, we're all this way. It's kind of interesting that when I talk about my past to people like, so what does that mean that you were born this way? That means we always spoke in the third person. There was always someone else in the room, and it wasn't like, woo, it was always like they, we. And so I died a couple of times, and there's a couple of walk-ins in me. And the walk-ins are me. They're not
Right.
another, it's me from another place. And so when people say, well, Lawrence, I'm intuitive, I said, okay, you are. I'm the psychic. Okay, whatever you want to call it, but trust what's within you first before you put a title to it. You know, we like to use gift because it encompasses so much. Sometimes it's like, I can't do the category because I'll be here. It just comes out that way. And it doesn't come out that way. Like, I don't know, I'm going to give you a past life reading. I have no idea until you sit in front of me. It doesn't come to me. And then it comes and it goes. It's not something that I need to stay on, because a lot of what's happening now, because we're in ascension. And so the ascension process is when the Schumann resonance is rising and everyone's getting the sequence of numbers 111, 444, 333. We're seeing all of that. Getting the headaches and all of that is an earthly activation. So a lot of people are now being more in tune to their intuition. And I think what our biggest gift of this show is the experience. It's going to happen to them either way, but they need our experience. So how do you wake up in the morning? Sometimes pissed, sometimes not.
True statement. True statement. Absolutely the honest to God's truth. Mad as hell.
Mad as hell. Sometimes I'm pissed when I wake up. Sometimes I'm not. They say, well, do you meditate? Yeah, all the time. Meditation and connecting to the universe does not give you a sort of head start to your own evolution. You still have to evolve. And I think that's what we're bringing to the stage. They're going to be able to see each of our evolution. As we speak, we're going to speak from a point of experience and evolving. And the gift will not only be between us, but it will flow into the audience. I really believe that collective gift where everyone is on the same level. I mean, we're going to hit the people. There's a restaurant next door, those poor people. Those poor people.
What is this I'm feeling?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, those poor people. The poor waiters. Oh my gosh. Oh, everyone's going to be reading everyone's mind. And I think that's a great thing, because I really feel like when you get us all together, there's nothing but expansion and energy of love and light. And it's the love that we have. It's that love. It's that heart chakra that we have.
Yes.
And that heart chakra right there is the biggest gift of all. You can be clairvoyant, clairvoyant. If you don't have that heart right, there is no need to see anything. There is no need to see anything. You got to get your heart right. And I think that's 100%. Our experience. We got our heart right. We've been tugged and pulled and kicked. I'm sure we've got, everyone has that story. Everyone has that, what the hell am I doing with my life story?
It's a true
Where the
story.
hell am I going with this?
Oh, yeah.
But I think We will meet people on various stages in their evolution. So a lot of people just need to see that we exist so that they can keep going on. That they say, okay, and they need to, the interesting thing is that our heart chakra will be the first thing they see on
Mhm.
us. That will be
I
the
agree with
very
that
first thing that they
100%.
see on us.
And it will be the last thing they leave with as well.
Yes,
Right,
yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's right.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And the other thing is that we are approachable.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
You know,
100.
we're not pushing this energy unless it's a certain situation. I
Yes.
try not to, but
Right.
they will know here we are. This
Here we
is
are.
from us, and we are approachable.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's why we had the
Mhm.
meet and greet ticket, because I had to limit it to, a certain amount of people. You wouldn't want every single person from the audience to come up, because that could be draining, just given our entire days. We'll be doing this all day, not just the gallery. But that to show you we are approachable and you can come up and ask us questions. We're all mentors and teachers, but we
Yes.
started out as
Yep.
students, and we're
Yeah.
also still students of life.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're both, you wear both
Yeah.
hats. And
Yeah.
I really want people to know that, like, if you even are interested in expanding yourself, want to be more enlightened, more spiritually awoken, things like that, this is the perfect place. And you couldn't be with safer people than the 7 of us.
And we're giving you practical information. That's rare.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's very
Mhm.
rare when you get that much practical day-to-day living, every day, every season information. You can only get that from people who've actually lived that lifestyle. And it's something that you don't want to miss. You want to have your questions. Here's the thing. You want to have your questions before you come to this event. Because as we know, you will sit there and you'll think, oh, I'll remember it. Don't worry, I'll remember it. And then woo,
Yeah.
you're off in that stratosphere,
Yep.
an atmosphere somewhere, and you can't ground. So take a hint from us, write it down, keep it close to you, and have it grounded. Really, what I would like for everyone to do is really think about the questions that you want answered. You don't want to miss this. You don't want to ask a question like this of me. Tell me what I need to know. You
Mhm.
don't ask that to me.
Okay,
Mhm.
next.
Yes. You don't
Too
do that.
broad, too,
Right.
yeah, no.
Right. Don't do that. You ask me deeper questions because I'm going to be in a deeper state for you. This is for you. This is for you. Get the best that you can out of it. I'm going to give my best, but it takes a group. We're going to give our best, and you need to give us the best.
Right.
You need to give us the
But
best.
the list of questions, Lawrence, is really a good idea, because we all know what also happens is they bring a list of questions, and when they get home and look at the list, they go, oh my God, they answered this,
There you
this,
go.
this, this, and this, right?
Yes.
So a list of questions is a really great idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't.
Even if we never approach you personally, all those questions are going to get answered.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And bring your confirmation, bring things that you need confirmed.
Mhm.
We also are going to respect that your guide gave you the message, but sometimes we need to confirm. That's all we need to do. We need to say, yeah, move. Yeah,
Especially
yeah,
people who
move.
doubt their abilities. So that's
And
good.
also somebody mentioned one time, bring, like, if you're wanting to connect with one of your family who's crossed over, bring something of theirs.
Hmm.
Like a
Not,
trigger object.
even if we don't call on you and ask to hold it, psychometry, right?
Mhm.
Still bring something that represents that person, something
Yes.
personal to that person, so that it can be picked up on. And
Yes.
And you know who's really good at that?
Mhm.
Dr. Chuck Murphy.
There you go.
okay.
Yes, he
There you go.
is.
I'm telling you,
sure
is.
he can rattle the house with,
Yeah.
there's something I see, blah, blah. And
Yep.
I've seen him, I've sat in a gallery with him, and he literally described what was in this guy's pocket. And it was like, oh my God,
Mhm.
Right.
this man is
Yeah.
amazing. I want to play with you. I want to be in your group because you know things,
Yeah.
Yes.
So bring your dad's watch, bring
Yes.
your,
Yes.
bring your
Yes.
grandmother's brooch, bring a letter. I've got a stack of letters from my dad that
Right.
is here, as a matter of fact, on my desk.
And for
And
those
I
And
who
will
I'm-
clarify,
please
bring
vote.
appropriately sized things.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
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 Something.
Don't bring
Yeah,
the kind of
Appropriately sized
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. Don't
Don't
bring
yeah,
bring your
yeah,
machete.
don't bring the clock. Don't bring
Right.
Yeah.
don't bring the
Weapons.
grandfather clock.
No
Yeah.
Don't bring any guns.
No
Don't
guns,
bring
no
any
guns.
knives,
Yeah.
Don't bring any
no,
guns.
you know.
No overly large blankets or quilts. Don't want you
Yeah.
tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Careful
Here's
with
another-
that, yeah.
In fact, bring your family. Make this a
Absolutely.
family affair.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the
absolutely.
messages that you're just going to bring home to your family, if they
Mhm.
were sitting next to you, you wouldn't have to do that. So
That's right.
make
Yeah.
it a family affair.
Don't
Yeah.
be
And
afraid
there's
to
no
bring that
better-
person that might be a healthy skeptic.
Yes.
Yes.
'Cause the healthy skeptic is usually the one that gets one of the most detailed amount of information,
Yeah.
and they leave and they're the one that goes and tells everybody, oh my gosh, I can't believe what just happened.
Yes.
Mhm. True.
I've
Yeah.
actually heard Carrie do that on the radio where somebody has called and said something that was just a little bit off. Well, you know, and then Carrie just like, okay, let me tell you, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. And then they call back the next month and they go, you know, everything you said came true. I just wanted to call and say thank you. And it's like, oh, thank you for letting her know. But that's from those skeptical individuals. We all need them in
We
our
do.
lives
Yeah.
to
We
keep
do.
us real.
Yeah. We
Totally.
do.
Mhm.
Keeps us humble.
Yeah.
It
And,
does.
and that's another lesson that we'll teach also, because a lot of people, a lot of the younger psychics get frightened when they run into a skeptic. Oh my gosh. And we're like, bring it on.
Mhm.
Come on.
Come on.
With it, because
Yeah.
we sit so firmly within the gift that it's more of a service. Okay. I guess what I'm trying to say, when you're a service provider, you get ego, you move everything out the way, you become a vessel.
Mhm.
So I'm not connected to anybody like that. I'm a vessel. It comes in and it comes out, and I go home because I have to live my life. I have to do things that I have to live my life. And I think there's so many living and lifelong lessons that we're going to be teaching just by having us on stage and people throwing us these questions that are going to allow us to think about our evolution and how we're going to answer that question. And sometimes it takes other people to tell us. Like, I know people ask me questions. I'm like, you know what? I never thought about it that way, but okay, that's my next class. I need to teach that. Exactly. I
Right.
need to teach that. So it's a shared experience between audience and us. It's a very intimate experience, and we want people to show up with that loving feeling, like you're going to get something out of it. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be the best time that you've had in a long time.
Let me throw out one thing when we were talking about having the experience of being around psychics. The first time I actually met Patricia was on that New Year's Eve. And
Are you serious? When I
No,
at
that's
my
not
event?
the first time I met you.
Well,
I met you at psychic events.
but from a perspective of listening to your light language,
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah.
I had not experienced you,
Yeah.
not from the gift.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I listened to Patricia do her light language, and honest to God, I've never been the same since.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
that was
Mhm.
so
Thank you.
powerful. It
Yeah.
was not,
You're
you know,
right.
all of us
Yeah.
in that room.
Yeah. Yeah.
We sat there
Yeah.
and I bet you could look at anybody and our mouths were going,
Yeah. We were all like,
because it was so, first of all, I love people with gifts that are just so emboldened to say, here's my message, and then
Right.
it comes out
Right.
and you just go, I know that came from spirit.
Right.
But I don't think any of us were the same after that, because
Yes.
the whole room changed, the energy changed. So I'm telling you, if you want to have that kind of experience,
Yeah.
you have got to come and see her at
Yes.
this gallery.
Thank you.
You really do.
Thank
You
you.
really have got to
Seriously,
go
there's
come
no
see
question
her.
about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had not heard it. I mean, as many people as I've been around, I had not heard it the way that I think I really was supposed to hear it. Because I've heard, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
as we do, we've
Yeah.
heard other stuff. This
Yeah.
was so real and genuine and authentic, and it's
Yes.
like,
Yes.
boy, that was an experience.
it was a healing.
It totally was. And
it-
that's
it-
worth the price of a ticket right there. Seriously.
Patricia has there's a video that you have, I believe it's on your Facebook, and it's you doing the light work. And there's something about that when I'm in that space where I'm feeling very off, it's like, where's Patricia's video?
Exactly.
Because it hits you here, and then
Y'all
it's like
gonna make
all
me
of this
cry.
stuff,
Yeah.
It's
all
true.
this stuff in your head. Because I have this thing when we get people on that are spinning, I'm always like, okay, you're spinning. It's bring it down. That's one of the places I go when I get that really out spin, where it's like, okay, universe, I don't know what this is.
Mhm.
There's anxieties, there's this in there, there's that. I've gone and listened, I don't know how many times, at least 6 or 7 times in the past few
Mhm.
months,
Mhm.
to get that
Thank
space
you
of,
so much.
it hits
Yeah.
you, it hits you like here in the heart, and then your whole body just goes to places,
Mhm.
vibrational places that it's like, okay, you know, it's some kind of a healing, because it's the intent that you put around it, it's the love that you put in there, and then it's just you stepping aside and saying, okay, I'm doing the work that I was sent here and blessed to be doing.
Yep.
And it's
Yes.
that authenticity of it that gives you that healing.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
for
mean,
real.
they call us the hollow bone, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which means that it's not us. And and a lot of people, we were talking about being wiped out. One of the things that I always share with people is I never use my own energy, you know, and so I'm never wiped out at the end of a gallery or a psychic fair or whatever, because I'm not using my energy, because my ego is not there, you know.
Mhm.
Your ego, your energy is your ego. And so I put my little Patricia to the side and go, okay, what you got? You know.
Exactly.
But thank you so much. Thank you so much for the encouragement and the kind words.
Well, it's true. I mean, it is one of those moments that you wish other people could see, or you wish other people could experience from that kind of, I mean, you and Lawrence were both on stage, and it was like, no matter what it was that you were saying, he was right there with you, pushing that energy on through. And that
Yeah.
tells you right there, that is a combination of brother, sister coming together to help the rest of the room. It went outside the house. It was down the neighborhood. It
Yeah.
just kept going all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know my sister, and when she started to do that, all I did was, I just bowed my head.
Absolutely.
I just bowed my head,
Absolutely.
and she blessed my head, and I was used as a vessel for
Yep.
everyone else in the room.
Yep.
Because her light language is it's encompassing and enveloping
Yep.
at the same time.
It does,
Mhm.
and it reaches out, and it has a
Mhm.
tendency to wrap itself around you if needed, but then it expands, and then it goes to somebody else, and then it's going to somebody else. I mean, it's probably still there,
It is.
reaching out to all
It
these
is.
different,
Yeah,
spaces
it
and
is.
places. But that was one of those moments where you go, man, I wish it had been filmed,
I
but I'm
know.
kind of glad that it wasn't, because it
Uh-huh.
feels more personal,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, and I swear to God, none of us
Yeah.
were the same sense.
No, we were not. And it's a precursor to this event that
Absolutely.
we're having, because now we get to tell the audience, oh, you have no idea what you're going to
Totally.
receive. You have
That's
no
true.
idea.
Well,
what you're
and
gonna
look where we
receive.
are
Well,
now. Look what we're about to
honestly, I
go
didn't
into.
know. Honestly, I didn't know if that was going to be part of it, but it is me. It is what I do. So,
Mhm.
and when I do, when I do readings personally, sorry, when you all know when spirit's trying to talk, you get this
Yeah.
hoarse.
I know this,
Yep.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
when I do readings, I open with light language, and then I intuitively give a reading. I have tried to learn tarot cards, and it goes right over my head. I cannot do it because it's not a part of me.
Right.
And so
Mhm.
so I guess it is common sense that I would be doing light language there, but I never thought of it.
Oh,
So
it's gonna
thank you.
show.
Yeah.
There's
Not
no
every
question
psychic
about it.
reads cards. Not every psychic reads cards.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Like
Mhm.
Right,
sometimes
right.
when I do a reading, I don't even touch my cards. I'm doing shamanic drumming and I'm
Yeah.
channeling. That's a lot of what I do. In fact, a lot of all this started to come together for Southern Fried Psychics when I got my attunement with you, Aunt Patricia. Because it was just a vision, and I'm like, my God, this is getting bigger than my head, bigger than my own abilities, and I want this to be a project that's going to happen, not still be on my creative docket in my mind. And you know, it's been coming together like beautifully as it's designed from, you know, outside my mind in the spirit realm.
For years, it's been coming together. For years, this has been in the works since I bet you 2000, moving us forward to get us to this point.
Yes, exactly.
So are you bringing your drum then, Dina Faye? Is that going to be part of your what you're going to offer?
Yes, ma'am, because part of what I'm doing is, which was the original vision, how it originally got born, was it was filming an audience doing a shamanic journey. And I had the pre-interview part, I had the post-interview part, and it was about how it shifts people in the moment, because that's one of my greatest tools is the shamanic drum. Because if I'm having an off day, or I'm human and I'm moody or I'm anxious, anything, I can get my drum and I shift in the second. Like not 5 minutes, not 20 minutes, whatever. That drum shifts me immediately. And that's something I really want that audience to be able to experience. So everybody will get a little mini journey in that as well. So that's what I mean by we're all going to bring our unique gifts, because we're all going to be doing what we do. So somebody might throw down cards. You'll be doing light language for sure. You know, I'll be doing shamanic journey. We'll all be unleashing how we are and what we do and what we offer.
That's awesome. That is going to be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Completely. Like I could feel the vibration of us just being who we are and bringing all of our tools and allowing the audience to experience different modalities of us, because we do more than one thing. That's the beautiful part of this. That we do a couple of different things, and it kind of crisscross, and we can piggyback off each other's gifts. And so it's an amazing process that will occur for those 3 hours. It's an amazing journey that will happen for so many people, and actually will happen for Plano. It's also good for Plano.
Also good for
Yes, it is really good
Really
for
good for
Plano.
Plano.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's 3 hours we're talking. We're not talking
Yes.
an hour. We're talking 3.
We're packing
Yeah.
lunch for your experience.
Yes.
Yep.
Is there a break? Is there an intermission, or is it straight 3 hours?
That's what they've not shown me, because part of, I shouldn't say they haven't shown me, they have actually, is it's going to be the flow of the audience and the flow of us. And if we feel in that moment, because everything I do is how does it feel, is there might be a spot kind of in the middle where there could be like a 10, 15, 20-minute break. So if people really need to go to the bathroom, we're feeling like audience people are doing a pee dance, you know, we can come back in. So we'll feel it. We'll know. I just know we'll know. So you know.
Yes, I think someone in the audience needs to go.
Go.
Now.
And
It's
it doesn't hurt
also someone on the stage as well.
I was just gonna say that might be
I
Carrie
feel
doing the
your
P dance.
pain. Yes, I feel your pain.
Carrie needs a break.
This is fun.
But you know, one of the most amazing opportunities that I think Carrie and Elizabeth would echo this too, is that whenever we were doing the blessing with Dina, she led us with a drum, and we were drumming around the property. And I don't know how long it had been. I know it was long enough that I got sun on me. Okay. And and we were going around the property, and by the time that we all ended, and we were in a trance. We all had ended on the same beat in different areas, and we all were in positioning to where we created our own like circular grid. It was amazing. And Dina starting us off and leading us with that, it was incredible. And she like ushered us into that blessing. And it was amazing. So I guarantee you, when you come to this event, you're you're in for it. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so awesome and spectacular. And if you've got her drum, man, oh, let's go.
To echo
Let's
what you're
go.
saying, to
And my
echo what you're
drum's
saying,
like
Gentilla, is the amount of animals as Dina was starting that were lifting on that property and coming towards us because they knew that something amazing was about to happen.
Yep.
And what was going on for that property, not just for them, but for around that property. And so on. Because that was Adina's intent was we don't have to walk the whole entire property because we're going to push it and we're going to push it beyond to where it needs to go.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it did. I mean, we had turtle
It did.
power, we had
Snake, dragonfly, butterfly.
dragonflies, there were butterflies that would literally come up and just land on you and then just take off. Snakes.
Was it a
we had
blue
snakes,
crane?
Blue cranes.
It
Blue
was.
crane.
Mhm. I found a snake.
Yeah.
Got pretty close. Then I was like, oh, hello.
Well, and the spirits of places really worked with us too. So, you know, in my shamanic training, you know, I have a very deep connection to spirits of place, but also wind and trees, and it would just everything was just talking and opening, and that's why I love that. You know, to have the drum there and do that, because anytime I drum, it seems to expand and open more so for people to be able to receive. So it will kind of set the tone of really creating a sacred space without walls.
Yeah.
And she did too.
Mm.
All of them. Everybody did. I mean, it was her lead that
Mhm.
kind of opened that door so that we could follow, because we knew we were going to follow Dina. I mean, that was just like a precursor. We knew her experience and her talents and her gifts. And that's what you do. You just follow right along when you know somebody's going down that pathway, because you know they're going in the right direction.
Ladies, I have to go.
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
another appointment that I have to get to. And so everyone who's watching this, I'll see you September 3rd. And stay posted. You're there. I don't even have to worry about it. If you're
No.
watching this, you're there. Period.
You're coming. We'll see
I
you
know
there.
because I'm a psychic.
You should know. We all know, right?
Well, thank you all for
Love
joining
you.
us. I think it's a good
Yes,
time
thank
for a segment of refreshment, as Abraham Hicks would say. So
Yes.
thank you all so much for joining us, and for we look forward to seeing all of you on September 30th, and maybe we'll do this again between now and then. So
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you.
namaste.
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 Oh,
Right.